Throughout modern history, nations have faced currency collapses, hyperinflation, banking freezes, and sudden rule changes. But in every single case, from Weimar Germany to Argentina to Zimbabwe to Greece, one pattern repeats. The general public gets caught inside the system. The wealthy move around it. Educational and informational content only, not financial advice. Today, we're exploring how, why, and what history teaches us, using a hypothetical modern U.S. scenario as a framework. Not to recommend anything, not to give financial advice, but to understand how major crises have worked in the past and what behaviors appeared across multiple collapses. This is macroeconomic education. Let's dive in. Why history matters more than headlines. When a currency breaks down, people often imagine chaos, panic, or overnight collapse. But the truth is more structured. Crises follow patterns, and decision-making changes depending on scale, location, liquidity, and jurisdiction. Today, we're looking at a hypothetical person with a $400 million net worth, simply as a lens to understand historical patterns. This is not about what anyone should do. This is about what has already happened, repeatedly. Weimar Germany, when inflation erased savings. Between 1921 and 1923, the German mark lost almost all of its purchasing power. For ordinary citizens, wages couldn't keep up. Bank savings evaporated. But historical records show three patterns among those who preserved value. 1. Foreign currency or foreign custody. Wealth held in Swiss francs, pounds, or dollars retained purchasing power. 2. Real functioning businesses. Industrialists like Hugo Stinnes, now famous in economic textbooks, used collapsing local currency to acquire real assets that continued producing value. 3. Diversification outside the hyperinflating system. Not as advice, simply a historical reality. The principle: systems under stress change rules. Real assets and external custody remain stable in comparison. Argentina has experienced multiple currency resets: 1989, 2001, 2015, and ongoing pressures. Across each event, patterns repeated. Wealth stored in multiple currencies preserved purchasing power, especially in US dollars, which functioned as a parallel store of value. Offshore custody reduced exposure to domestic freezes. During the 2001 Corralito, local accounts were restricted, but foreign accounts were not. Farmland and exporting industries tracked global prices. Agriculture is priced internationally, making it less sensitive to domestic currency swings. Zimbabwe, the collapse of a currency. In 2008, Zimbabwe reached one of the highest inflation levels ever recorded. Historical research shows hard foreign currency retained full purchasing power: US dollars, South African rand. Dual-listed shares created temporary arbitrage. Companies like Old Mutual were listed in both Zimbabwe and London, Johannesburg, letting investors move value across borders until the government banned it. Real estate held nominal value but became illiquid. A reminder that during collapses, liquidity is as important as valuation. Greece, when banks, not currency, failed. Greece is unique. The euro didn't collapse. The domestic banking system did. Historical takeaways: capital controls limited withdrawals and transfers. Wealth already held abroad remained accessible. Safe haven international real estate attracted capital. London property became a preferred hedge for Greek families. The principle visible here is jurisdictional risk, not currency risk. Russia, 1998 and 2022. Across two very different crises, one theme repeats. Diversified currency exposure reduces concentration risk. USD in 1998, and later USD yuan gold allocations in 2022. Real estate in neutral jurisdictions remained accessible. Dubai, Turkey, and other non-sanctioning countries became destinations. The lesson historians emphasize: rules change fastest during geopolitical stress. Portability and jurisdiction matter. What these historical cases show us. Across Weimar, Argentina, Zimbabwe, Greece, and Russia, 5 consistent themes appear. A single currency system is a single point of failure. Multiple crises show that diversification shielded wealth. Assets inside the collapsing jurisdiction faced rule changes, capital controls, freezes, conversion laws, redemption pauses. Real assets maintained real-world usefulness. Farms produced food, buildings produced rent, mines produced resources. Liquidity and portability mattered more than returns. Adaptability defined outcomes, not prediction. The people who preserved purchasing power didn't time collapses. They prepared structurally, well before stress became visible. These are historical principles, not recommendations. A modern-day hypothetical: if someone in the U.S. had $400 today. This is not guidance, only a macroeconomic thought experiment. Economists studying historical crises generally conclude wealth at this scale is usually globally diversified: banks, custodians, and funds in multiple jurisdictions. Asset mix includes productive businesses, global equities, and real assets, not tied to a single currency system. Custody arrangements matter more than the asset list, because accessibility determines purchasing power during stress. No single country or single bank acts as a perfect hedge. Again, this is not instruction. This is a narrative tool to explain how large-scale capital interacts with crisis environments historically. Why this matters to the average viewer. YouTube requires this clarity. This video is not saying a collapse is coming. It's not saying anyone should mimic historic strategies. It's not making predictions, and it's not giving financial advice. The purpose is educational. History is the best teacher and the least biased.